Today I'm bringing the Mediterranean to your backyard. Well, almost. I'm making a fresh, delicious, herb-packed salad. Got chickpeas, tomatoes, cucumbers, but the stars are going to be herbs fresh from my garden, including basil, mint, and parsley. If you're looking for something quick and easy that doesn't involve turning on the stove in the heat of summer, that's packed with fresh garden goodness, this is the one for you. It's also a great reminder that even if your cucumbers and tomatoes are from the market, eating what you grow doesn't have to be all or nothing. Come and join me. Okay, so this recipe calls for a lot of herbs. I'm going to be using basil and parsley and mint, and my basil has started blooming, which is fine. I don't mind the taste. Like, it tastes a little bit different, but I don't mind it, so I use it anyway. Um, So what I'm going to do, it actually uses quite a bit of basil. So I'm going to grab a couple of sprigs of this. Okay, that's probably going to be enough for the basil. Let's pop over to parsley over here. And you'll see I've been harvesting the parsley. You can tell because the the young growth in the middle, that's where it's grown new stems based on where I cut it previously. All right, so I'm going to use basil. We're going to use parsley. Let me just grab a bunch of this too. Parsley. This guy's over here. I'm going to use a lot of parsley. It's really good in this salad. Okay, and then we're going to add just a little bit of mint to this, which is, you'll find it often in these types of Mediterranean style recipes. Here's my mint. My mint is blooming too. The bees love it. And then for mint, I'm just going to grab a little bit. A little goes a long way. So let me grab just one, and I'll grab another one, not the flower one. We'll leave that for the bees. All right. And I'm using this mix, but you can use whatever herbs that you prefer. Chives would be good too, actually. Chives would be good. What else would be good in this recipe? Any fresh herbs that you've got that you prefer. The point is that you're eating what you grow. That is the point. We're not growing plants, we're growing food. Right? I'll meet you in the kitchen and we'll get going on this salad. Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Val. If you are new, today we are making a Mediterranean salad. It's got all the usual components that you would think: tomatoes, cucumbers. I'm adding a green pepper, a bunch of herbs, chickpeas, and feta, with lemon and olive oil as the dressing. It's really simple. It's fresh from the garden. I have one I have one tomato from the garden. The herbs are from my garden, but the pepper and the cucumber and obviously the lemon are not. But that's okay. I've made this salad countless times year round, and I use during the summer season, during the growing season, I'll use whatever I have on hand, whatever I have grown in my garden, but it doesn't matter. If you buy it from the market, from the grocery store, it's all good. The point is that when you do have something that you can incorporate, that you've grown yourself, and you can incorporate it into a dish, that's the goal. And I'm using chickpeas today. If you don't like chickpeas or garbanzo beans, it's the same thing. You can use a different bean, white beans, kidney beans, whatever you prefer. Same thing with the herbs. I'm using basil, parsley, and a little bit of mint. But if you don't like one of those things, or you have an abundance of something else, swap it out. It's totally fine. All right, so let's get going. I'm going to start everything. I've washed everything. Everything is still a little bit damp. I'm just going to move some stuff around, give myself some room to prepare this. And it's basically, I call these types of meals an assembly meal, where you're not using the stove, which is something that most of us don't want to do in the heat of the summer. And we're just throwing everything into a bowl. And it makes it super fast. and it's ready really quickly. So I'm just cutting the cucumber, slicing it in quarters, I guess you can say. I usually don't put the green pepper, but there was a sale this week, so I bought some green peppers at the store, and I said, you know what, that would be really good in this salad. Sometimes I'll put green onion, and as I was harvesting the herbs earlier, I was looking at the chives. That would be really good in this too, just to give it, a little bit of zing. All right, one done. Tomato. Any tomatoes that you have on hand. You could probably use cherry tomatoes too. I've got some from the garden, but I save those to make that pasta dish with the mozzarella and the basil. So I don't typically use it in this dish. And I just slice these, whatever, chunks. It is not rocket science. Again, the goal for gardening is not to just grow the plants. And I catch myself doing that because I'm a plant person. I have a lot of house plants. I just like to grow things. So I always have to remind myself, remember, Val, you have a garden. You're growing food out there. You're not growing the plants to look at and admire. You actually have to eat them, harvest them and eat them and preserve them. So that's my battle to fight. But the point of having a food garden is to, here, do this little tomato as well, is to grow, is to eat it, right? Is to eat what you're growing. This was one of our little slicer tomatoes. As you know, if you've been following along, my tomatoes have not done well this year. So this is one of the few, I have one slicer tomato plant. It's a celebrity, I can't recall, celebrity something. And we've got like 2 tomatoes off that plant this year. My cherry tomatoes, they're producing, but not as they should. So I know everybody cuts green peppers differently. This is how I do it. So if you do it differently, don't judge. My little garbage bowl here. Yeah, so my tomatoes, although they're producing somewhat, they're not doing it. It's not a tomato year for me, and that's okay. Can't win them all. All right. So I'm just gonna slice this up into chunks as well. Yeah, so I don't normally put green pepper in this, but I said, you know what, this would be really good. And it's that time of year. I like getting stuff anything that's in season, anything that's, growing now. It's always going to taste better when it's grown locally, when it's in season. So this salad it's pretty versatile because you can put whatever it is that you like in it, whatever you have on hand. And I make this year round. Like I make it very often. And we either eat it on its own, just as a meal, because it's got some protein in it. So it's actually pretty hearty, and some cheese. But you can eat it, you can, put it in a pita or in a wrap. Spread some tzatziki on the inside of the wrap. That would be really good. Just serve it with some pita bread, pita wedges. That would be good. You can cut up some chicken and toss it in there. Also an option. It's pretty easy to switch things up as needed. Okay, veg is done. I'm going to let's do herbs next. So what have I got here? I've got basil. This is the mint. I'll do that last. Parsley. Basil in there? No. All right, let's do basil. Now, I do take the leaves off the stems for the basil, roughly, like just, doesn't have to be super exact. Just because they're somewhat difficult to eat, especially raw, the stems. Okay, so that's my basil. You just chop this up. Again, not rocket science. Just chop it up so that you're going to get little little bite-sized pieces in the salad. It almost works as it's almost like a lettuce. Like all of these herbs, they've got vitamins and nutrients, and it's all good. All right, that's one. Let's do the mint next. So mint, I kind of get it off the stems, similar to rosemary. Let's do that. Now, do I have, no, there's one here. Oh, I've got the sun coming in. Hope that's not a bother on the camera. Okay, let's do the same thing for these. Just a rough chop. And it's just to, break it up a little bit so that you'll get little specks of mint. Mint is it's traditionally found in a lot of Mediterranean dishes. And you don't need a lot. And it's one of those things that you eat it, and you're like, what is that? It's quite good. All right, parsley. Parsley, I'm a little more careful with trying to get the leaves off the stems. Although you really could eat the stems. Parsley stems they're not tough or anything. But I prefer to take them off. And it just takes a few seconds. It's not a big deal. All right. Get it all together. That's parsley. And then same thing, rough chop. Work with me, leaves. They're still damp from when I washed them. They're sticking all over the place. All right, in they go. Next, we're going to dump the beans in. And that's just one standard can of beans. It's a 540 mil, so I don't know how much that is in ounces, but it's your typical, you know what? Let me just show you how big this can is. But again, like whatever you've got on hand, it's like this size of can. Pretty standard. So it's whatever you have on hand. If you have a smaller can, you have a smaller can. Not a big deal. All right, cheese. Now this I cube it into, I don't know, about 1/2-inch cubes. And again, whatever. And I like feta for this because it's Mediterranean. It's got that flavor, that flair. And I just put it into. You could probably crumble this too, if that's your preference. But I like to get a chunk in my salad. We're gonna dump that in as well, and then pick it up a little bit. Use the back of your knife when you're scraping so you don't dull your blade. Follow me for more tips. Okay, and then we're going to do the olive oil, lemon juice, and I put a little bit of pepper. I don't put salt in this because the feta is already quite salty, but I do put pepper. So I'm just going to wash my hands because I don't want to dirty my pepper mill. Just going to rinse them a bit, dry them off. Okay, and then I'm going to squeeze lemon juice in. I use 1/2 a lemon, and I'm using my little strainer because I see there's pits in there. So all I do, and then I just do it right above the bowl. Yeah, there's a lot of pits in this one. If you like more lemon, do the whole lemon. I used 1/2 a lemon in another in another dish yesterday, so I had 1/2 a lemon ready to go, which is why I'm only going to use the 1/2 today. All right, make sure it's all in there. Put my pits in my garbage bowl. Okay, and I've dirtied my hands again, which is fine. Olive oil and pepper. Okay, olive oil, it's about, I don't know, I just drizzle it on until my heart tells me to stop. And like this is your dressing, right? So it's just treat it like a salad dressing. And then pepper. And that's it. Let me get my stir thing. And that's pretty much it. Let me get this out of the way. And then I'll just pop this over here. All right, and then stir everything together. And really, this is just obviously making the flavors blend. Oops, basil leaf. And that is it, guys. And how long did that take? I want to say it took less than 15 minutes. And this recipe with all of the ingredients that I selected today makes probably 4 salad size portions. It can be a main meal if you're good with that. It can be a side dish. It can be put into a wrap. It could be, you can add protein to it if you prefer, more than what's already there, because there are beans and there is the cheese. But that's pretty much it. Super fast, great during the summer when you don't want to deal with the stove and you want to use up as much of your garden bounty as you can. It's just fantastic. And that's pretty much it, guys. Hold on, I'm going to give you a close-up of what this looks like because it's amazing. Okay, come with me. There's the salad. All those little bits of herbs in there, the beans, the salty feta, the fresh tomato, cucumber, green pepper. It's like summer in a bowl. If you've made a variant of this, I would love to hear what different ingredients you use and what's going on in your garden. If you enjoyed the video today, please give it a like and subscribe for more garden to table recipes. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. Happy gardening.